Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Jaws 3, or Jaws 3D, whatever you want to call it. And this movie came out in 1983, and it came out at a point where there were a lot of 3D horror films coming out at the time, like Friday the 13th Part 3, that was, I believe, in 3D, and this was one of those movies, and watching it, you can definitely see like which parts were filmed to be in 3D, and it does make the movie more entertaining to watch. And the movie overall, like separate from the 3D gimmick that's thrown in there, the movie itself is really bad. It's stupid, and the characters are completely unlikable, and it's just not a very well made film at all, really. The shark is terrible. It's like 35 feet long, as they say in the movie, and it just looks really fake throughout the entire film. And whenever characters die, it's always unintentionally hilarious. And I did find this movie to be pretty funny throughout most of it. And this movie is like the second shortest one, and next to the fourth movie, which is literally an hour and a half. This one's slightly over an hour and a half, and I just kind of find it funny that the first movie is the longest, the second movie is a few minutes shorter, like just under 2 hours. The first movie is like 2 hours-ish, maybe slightly over. And this one's just over an hour and a half. Fourth movie is an hour and a half exactly, and the shorter these movies get, the worse they get. And I find that to be kind of funny. And basically everything this movie does is just a worse version of the first two movies. And not to say that the second movie is anything great, but it's much better than this. Like, the dialogue scenes with the adults in the second movie is pretty much what saved it, and that's a big chunk of the second movie, whereas like the action was like kind of putting me to sleep, and I didn't care about the shark moments all that much, and it was just not handled very well. But this movie, you can see what's going on, and the way things are presented in the second movie compared to the third movie, you can see it more clearly. However, because you can see what's going on, and because this movie isn't made by like anyone who is like super talented, or at least from what I can see, it just comes across as goofy. And like when characters die in this movie, it just feels like they're being picked off by the shark one by one, just because the script needs them to die. And I do feel as though this movie is really slow, and not a whole lot happens throughout the entire film. And about half of the movie, if not the majority of the film, there's basically like no plot whatsoever. There's a shark loose in an aquarium, and they gotta deal with that. And that's what the movie is, and it's hasn't really aged very well. And I'll say this much about it. It did feel kind of different from that perspective, with like a concept being like explored, like what would a shark being loose in SeaWorld, or sorry, in an aquarium be like, and just terrorizing people. Like, maybe you could have done something with that, and it's different from the first two movies, that's for sure. But sadly, not much is added to it. And I don't like any of the characters in this movie. I didn't think any of the performances were that great, and the music and how it's used, I just couldn't get behind. And the way they used the Jaws theme, it didn't really feel like any tension was being built up. And overall, I just didn't like this movie at all, and it was bad, but it is pretty funny throughout a decent amount of it. It's a good, funny, bad movie. I would recommend watching this movie with friends so you can laugh at it, because it can get pretty funny at times, especially in the big action moments where characters die. So if you like something like that, then check this movie out. Otherwise, it's not a good movie. It works kind of as a funny bad movie, just not as a serious, unironic good movie. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D, whichever one you want to go with, a 2 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Jaws 3, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Jaws the Revenge, just to get it out of the way. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.